Hi guys, Doug here with a new video. In this video, we're going to talk about the benefits of AV and Warsong Gulch gear that you can have right now once the AV and Warsong Gulch will come out, which is in 2 or 3 days, depending on the region you are. And it is going to be good for a lot of classes. And I must say, everyone should actually get exalted on AV, even classes, because a lot of the previous is also coming from ranking but also from the factions from PvP, which is AV Warsong Gulch. So, AV, what do you want? First and foremost, there's a lot of great things going on from Friendly to Honored, Revered, and Exalted, and that is for both Horde and Alliance. If you don't have your 100% mount and you want to buy it, I would recommend to get Exalted ASAP with AV. It is the best way to get your mount and for the least amount of money, because this is like a way cheaper mount. I think it's 640G or something like that, mount wise. So it will help you with the amount of gold you're going to spend on a 100% mount, and this mount can be ridden by any race. So if you're like Alliance and you're Horde, if you're Alliance and you're a human, you can get the Battle Charger without an issue. And the same for Horde. If you are undead, you can get the Horn of the Frost Wolf Howler if you get Exalted as well. So that's a very, very good one as well. You need to go for that. I think it's really, really needed. Especially for example, I don't have a 100% mount because I'm very poor. I didn't farm too much. I have 300 gold. So I'm looking for the Stormpike Battle Charger if I want to have a mount going up into AV. So I will be for sure spamming Exalted because of that. But there are other benefits to AV. So you have your friendly consumes, which is always going to be quite nice as well. You have a 10 spirit here, consume, so it's very good for priests, for example, for raiding. You have your Alterac heavy runecloth bandage, which is something you can buy, and it can only be used in Alterac Valley, unfortunately. But it's very good for PvP if you're doing PvP. This like makes you not have to farm rune glove or whatever to have consumes. And here you have good potions, I would say, like entry potions. It's not great, but it's like not costly. So if you don't want to spend too much, these like are like potions that you can get for pretty much free. Honored wise, you would say that there is nothing interesting. That's not true. You have Bis, arrows, and bullets for hunters. You should get those two. If you're having a gun, you should have bullets. If you have like a crossbow or a bow, you should get the ice threaded arrows, which are best for PvP and for PvE because that also adds damage. As you may know, like bows and crossbows have a DPS, but that is without counting the arrows and the bullets that you have. For example, if you have a bow with 50 DPS, this will add 16.5 DPS. So it's very, very strong, and you should for sure rank up just for Honored if you are a hunter. That is going to be your BIS. You don't need too much of the other reputation, but this is like something you need to have, especially if you are like buying it off the auction house. This is going to be way cheaper, so just go for that. You have other interesting pieces. For example, if you're a healer, you have a good neck, which is kind of a bit like a upgrade from the neck from UBRS. If you're thinking about it, it's like 4 mana instead of 3 mana, so it's going to be a better piece. If you're a DPS and you don't have like the Forging Mark, for example, this is quite good because it has 15 stamina, which is very, very good for PvP, while Forging Mark has no stats for that, so this is going to be quite good. And it has 18 attack power, which is you can see it as 9 at strength, so it's a good piece for not much. Then you have also a good cloak. If you're a DPS caster, this is actually a very good cloak for what it is. It is comparable to Sprite's caster cape from BRD, but this one has stamina and this has no or little stamina, like it's 11 stamina less, so it's very, very good. You have also here the strength cloak if you want to, for hunters, for druids that wants to be playing feral, for example, for warriors, for rogues. This is actually a very good cloak. It is not like the Baron's cloak, don't get me wrong, but it has stamina and it has also some good attack power for what it is, and frost resistance, so maybe with a bit of luck you're going to resist the Nova. Then you have a good belt here, for example, this one, the Stormprice Glove Girdle, which is 18 spell power, which is going to be quite good. Also stamina and intellect compared to Zadin Sash, for example. It is the same, but you have to enter dungeons. While this one, it's like for free. If you're honored, you get it and you can buy it. It's very comparable, pretty much, if you're a DPS. Then you have a okay cloak for rogues, 11 strength, 10 agility, 5 to 15 stamina is going to be quite good for PvP as well, and frost resistance, which is always going to be nice versus mages. Then you have your Stormprice Mail Girdle, which is not great for hunters. There are better pieces, but it is still a piece that you can buy for pretty much free. You don't need to grind anything, you get it and that's done. And the same for Stormprice Plate Girdle, which is 18 strength, 7 agility, and 8 stamina. It's not the best piece. You can have probably a Valor piece, which is way better, but it is more expensive, and this is pretty much for free. What else do you have? You also have some great like drinking or like eating like biscuits. That's quite good as well for a PvE. If you don't have a mage, you can always pick those up, and it's not expensive. It is comparable with the ones from the Argent Down reputation, but I think this one is better, if I'm not mistaken, because it has more, it restores more health, if I'm not mistaken. This one is like 4,400 health as well. And then you have consumes, which are going to be usable in PvP as well. Again, it's lightweighted consumes, but it is going to be very necessary PvP for sure. So I like that as well. Then you have Revered, which is going to be the most interesting parts for a lot of classes as well. If you're a dagger rogue and you still have no luck with your daggers, this one is actually a good dagger, which is 42 DPS, 1.8 speed. I don't know why it bugs like that. 1.8 speed, and you have 10 agi as well. So it's a very good entry dagger if you don't have Perdition Blade or whatever already. This is going to be a good dagger if you're a dagger rogue as well. This Stormstrike Hammer, I already made the comparison, but I want to do that again. This is actually a very good hammer. If you're an alliance like Fury Warrior and you're doing dual wield and you don't have Dalrens or whatever, this is actually very comparable to Kroll. For example, Kroll Blade has 80 to 149 damage. Speed is 2.8. You have strength, stamina, and crit, which is very good, but it costs a lot of gold. It's like between 400 and 500, depending on your server, depending on the time, whatever. This is like 15 strength, but also has more DPS than the Kroll Blade, has better speed than Kroll Blade. Obviously, Kroll Blade is better because of the stats. It has 1% crit, but this is also way cheaper. Like, you can have it for way cheaper in AV, so it's not even comparable. If it costs 500G, then okay, Kroll Blade is better, but this is like pretty much like cheap and for free. So it's a good like comparable item you can buy for pretty much nothing, right? Obviously there are better pieces, better weapons of that's true, but it is a very competitive weapon you can buy for like absolutely nothing, right? Then you have here entry like stuff for like PvPers that don't want to step foot in PvE. These are actually a good stuff with a lot of stamina. It has more stamina than Anathema, by the way. So it is a great stuff for that, but also for druids, for example, like Moonglow druids that wants to heal and damage and have stamina and have intellect. This actually is also a very good stuff. One thing to note as well, you have one of the best ammo pouches and quivers in the game with Alterac Valley. You have 16 slot and 15% ranged attack power speed. For comparison, let's compare the quivers. For example, here you have a 16 slot quiver, but with 13% ranged attack speed, which is 2% slower than this one. So again, you should farm AV just to have that bonus. The more attack speed you have, the stronger you become as well, because you're going to hit more and you're going to have an aim shot that is going to be faster as well. So everything is going to be faster as well if you have the quiver. So just do that as well. And you have also a battle standard, which is very nice as well for like grouped content. That's cool. Only usable in AV, but it is nice for whenever you're going to rush the boss and you put the standard, you're going to have more HP, which is going to be quite good as well. Exalted. This is where the juice is coming for a lot of classes. Mages, Warlocks, you want this. You want the Shadow Force and you want the Ice Lord. It's giving you free spell damage for your frost or shadow damage. You can also say, look, I want to have for everything, for fire, for frost, for shadow. You can go for this, but you will lack the stamina, which is fine, but the stamina is going to be interesting in PvP. If you're a healer, Lay of the Life Giver is BIS, so just go for that as well. You get a good main hand and you get a good offhand, and boom, you're competitive as well. If you are like me, a Shadow Priest, this one is going to be the one that you want to go for if you don't have Anathema. Obviously, Anathema is like, what it is 69 shadow damage, right? This is already giving you 34 shadow damage, and then you can like have a big piece, like a big one-hander, and then you're very, very competitive with Anathema. If you have Anathema or Benediction, you should not too much worry about the tomes until you are in BWL, where you have better one-handers. Like I said, Anathema and Benediction are great weapons, but they are like past a point not really BIS. For example, in BWL you have better pieces, like for example Lokamir with an offhand is the better pieces that you can have for shadow and for healing. So yeah, there it is. But already having Exalted as a priest is probably a must, because again you have also Lay of the Life Giver, which is also a very strong contender as a pre-BIS to Benediction. If you're a DPS, warrior, rogue, hunter, whatever, Don Julius Band is BIS. Like, it's one of the best rings in the game for pretty much no effort. It is very comparable to Quick Strike ring. So if you have Don Julio's Band, so I don't know if I can do the comparison. Let's do this, and then let's get the Quick Strike ring really quickly. It is very comparable, right? And Quick Strike ring is something that like people really want until the end of the game, anyways. Like, go for normal. Quick Strike ring is I don't remember which boss. I think it's this one. It's 5 strength. It has 30 attack power, which is very big. It is comparable to 15 strength. So you have 20 strength, 1% crit, 8 agi. Okay. Don Julio is 1% crit. This is also 1% crit. You have 1% hit, which you don't have on Quick Strike ring, so it makes you able to liberate a piece from your other pieces of gear, so that's quite good as well. You have 16 attack power, which is obviously way lower than the total 40 attack power if you're a warrior. So 5 strength plus 30 attack power is 40 attack power. So obviously that's lower, but you have hit, and hit is also very big. You need hit, obviously, on your gear. So it is very comparable. If you have Don Julio and Quick Strike ring, then you're good as well. You're set until you have Akuria, and Akuria is a bit difficult to get because everyone wants to get it. But Quick Strike ring with Don Julio's Band, you're set. So if you want to SR your rings, you get Quick Strike ring as a SR and then Don Julio's Band, and boom, you have the Choc à Pic. That's how we call it in French. So it's very, very strong as well. So you really want to get Exalted just for that as well. And like, again, Quick Strike ring, that's for warriors. If you are like a rogue, if you are a hunter, Don Julio's Band is also a very competitive piece. Like, it's really competitive, and it's quasi for free. I think it's 70 gold, something like that, from the vendor. I'm not sure. It's not very expensive, so it's a very good piece to get for pretty much nothing. Don Rodrigo's Band is not that good, but it's okay for mages. Like, if you want to do crits, if you want to do, like, you have a bit of stamina, decreases the magical resistance of your spell target, is also quite good as well. It's not fantastic, but it is okay. So I would for sure get that as well, until you have a bigger piece. Obviously, if you have like Ring of Spell Power, then my bad. But with the 1% crit is going to be very interesting for a lot of classes. Immovable Abject, if you're like a tank, you want to have a good shield, why not? It is going to help you with the increase of the block value of your shield by 27, so it's going to be quite big. So it's okay. It's not Skull Flame, let's be honest, but it's okay for what it is. And you have a very big dagger like this. The Lobotomizer is actually a very strong pre-bis. Obviously your bis is Perdition Blade, but this is like a very strong piece. If you can have that, you're set. You're a dagger rogue. And for the arms warriors or warriors that are like looking to PvP, this is actually a very strong contender for it. Like 2% crit, 19 strength, 15 stamina. I can like show you guys, right? So unstoppable force compared to like the best pieces of MC. And yes, MC gear is still going to be the best. Let's not lie. It is what it is. Oops, I can't seem to get molten core. So for example, you have obviously the best one is Bone Reaver's Edge. It is 206 damage to 310 damage top, and this is like 292 top damage. It is also a very slow weapon. It has less DPS, but it has also strength, which is going to also translate to a DPS amount. You have also 15 stamina, which is very comparable to Bone Reaver's Edge, and you have a chance on stun to target for 1 second, which is not great. Let's not lie, it's not great, but it is an interrupt effect, right? If someone is casting you or getting the stun, it is an interrupt effect, which is always going to be nice, and it is not DRable, so it means that it's not going to ruin your stuns from your mace spec, for example. If you're running with this, you need to have mace spec. And this is also good for paladins, it's also good for druids. If you're like a feral druid, it's also quite good as well, because it's very big stat stick, like 2% crit. It's like equal to, I don't know, 40 agi, I think, the amount of crit you can get for that. And you have 19 strength, which is again very, very good if you're going bear form. It's helping you a lot, and as well the stamina. So it's going to be a great piece if you are any of these classes. If you're an enhancement shaman, you're going to also be rejoicing, because this is like a very easy weapon to have. You don't have a lot of like great weapons as an enhancement shaman. You could have like an axe, like a 200 axe, why not? But the truth is, most likely he's going to go for a warrior. So this is going to be a good weapon, like a very good weapon. It's like, again, comparable to Arcanite Reaper, for example. I don't know if I can find it, but I don't think I can find it, right? Crafting, blacksmith, probably I can find it. Axes, Arcanite Reaper? Yes, here. Arcanite Reaper, this is like just classic, right? It's a classic weapon. It costs a lot, first and foremost, and it does less damage than Unstoppable Power. Unstoppable Force. The only thing you can have with this is like that you can have crit X specialization as a warrior, so you would have 5% crit increase. But this is like lower damage than Unstoppable Force, so you should always go for that as well. Nightfall is also great. Like, let's not be real. Like, I think Nightfall, if you're an enhancement shaman, you should be playing with Nightfall, but it is expensive to make. And also, it has less stats in general. Like, it doesn't have 2% crit, it doesn't have the strength, it doesn't have the stamina. So, anyways, this is pretty much the comparable gear that you could have with AV. What did I miss again for AV? Maybe I missed something for AV. Let's see for AV really quickly again. That's it. We talked about everything you can have from AV. Now let's talk about Warsong Gulch. And if you can get exalted to a Warsong Gulch, it is a grind. I don't know if you can get it before BWL, but even then, you have a Bis leg plate if you are a warrior. This is the creme de la creme, the you want it before you die kind of thing. A 28 strength, it's a big piece. Like, it's very, very strong. Like, it is impressively strong. Deceptively strong. 1% crit, 1% hit, has a lot of stamina, has a lot of strength. It is like the best piece you can have, so you will have to do Warsong Gulch if you want it. Even as a paladin, this is like also the creme de la creme. If you're like a paladin, this is like your dream. Like, until you have like the tier 2 pants, I would say, I guess, for paladin. This is like also a very good one. The chances are you're going to have the tier 2 before. This is also a very good hunter leg, but again, hunters, they have great tier pieces, so most likely you're going to go for tier. But even then, 35 agility, 15 stamina, 1% crit, 1% hit, it's actually very fantastic as well. Here you have a great leg piece for rogues as well, but mostly for druids. Strength, agility, stamina, intellect, it's like everything in one. And then you have another black piece that is more for rogues, 28 agility, 27 stamina with 1% crit. It's also quite great as well, but again, rogues also have some good tier pieces. And here you have some good leg pieces, for example, for casters, like 28 spell power, 23 stamina, 19 intellect, 10 spirit, with a lot of armor as well. And then you have your bracers, which are going to be quite interesting. Like, this one is like the best for casters, like a long time. 22 spell power, 8 stamina, 8 intellect, 7 spirit. Then you have also a great bracers for rogues, mostly for rogues pretty much. 11 strength, 19 agility, 8 stamina. Then you have also your mail piece, which is not that great for hunters, but way better for enhancement shamans, for example. And then you have your, dare I say, bis piece for warriors, because it has a bit of agility. It's very comparable with the braces from MC, obviously, with 24 strength, 8 stamina. This has more stamina and more, like, less strength, but more agility, obviously. It's also a great piece. So you should go for Exalted if you can. You should be grinding it for it. Revered doesn't give you too much, let's be honest. Like, you're not going to be level 60 before you're revered, so it's not going to give you anything interesting. But if you're honored, you can get actually some good okay pieces. Like, for example, you get a healing cloak, which is not bad. You have okay finger, for example, 8 stamina, 14 spell power with 4 mana per 5 seconds, which is also great. And you have some okay damage rings for hunters, for not hunters, excuse me, for druids, for warriors, for rogues. Like strength, agility, stamina is always going to be welcome. Not for hunters because you don't really care about strength, but like it's okay for what it is. Like honored is pretty easy to get. And then you have friendly, which is not giving you too much. Like it gives you a little trinket. If you don't have a trinket, why not? I guess it's not impressive. And you have also your rune cloth bandages, I would say, for the people that are playing Warsong Gulch. So you don't need to have rune cloth first aid farmed to get a good bandages in general. So that's quite good as well. So those are pretty much what you want to get in AV or Warsong Gulch. The truth is, if you're ranking, you should rank, to be fair. It's very easy to do. If you love a PvP, you'll rank anyways. But you have some good ranking sets. For example, in phase 2, you're limited to rank 11, which are the blue pieces. If you're a warrior, you kind of want that. You have 21 strength, 24 stamina, 1% crit, 1% hit. And if you are like rank 13 or whatever, 28 strength, 34 stamina, 1% crit, which is gigantic. It is like, I don't know how it's really big. Like you can compare it with Lionheart's Helm, but they lack 1% crit, 1% hit. Like it has more stamina, it has comparable strength, but it loses 1 crit and one hit. And it is big, but Lionheart's Helm is super expensive compared to this. So you can pick and choose your poison. Obviously here you have good shoulders, you have great chest. Everything gives you crit pretty much. Here you have less hamstring cost or rage cost, which is going to be quite interesting as well, because it costs 10 range if I'm not mistaken, so it will cost 7 range, which is even more spammable. You have great legs, like 2% crit increase plus 12 strength plus 17 stamina is more than you would think. You will lack the hit for PvE obviously because you don't have hit, but it is still going to be quite good. And then you have boots, which are not great. You could get probably better. But if you get the 6-piece, you will get even more stamina. And I could go on and on. For example, the Hunter set is not bad. It is for sure, tier 1 is very good, so you should go for tier 1. But if you are very unlucky or you don't want to raid or whatever, you can get a full rank 11 piece tier piece, and it's going to be very comparable to what you can have with tier 1. You get 2% crit on head, you can 1% crit from shoulders, you can 2% crit on your chest. Same for your legs, also 2% crit. So everything gives you 2% crit. Like if you're just counting on the pieces itself, 2%, 3% in total, 5% in total. You have here 7% in total, and that's without counting the agility. Obviously, you will get even more agility with the 2-piece. You will get a reduced cooldown on your concussive shot with your 4-piece, and your 6-piece will give you 20 stamina increase. And obviously if you get like rank 14 or rank 13, it is the same tier set bonus, but it gives you even more stamina and agility, which is going to be awesome. I look forward to ranking, and that's like a comparison. I could compare with every single class. Like for example, priest already did it multiple times. This is like a huge set with a lot of stamina, a lot of intellect, but also a lot of spell damage, which is going to be very, very welcome for priests. Warlocks as well, you have a lot of stamina with just the whole set. If you're a mage, this is going to be a godsend because most of your mages are going to have only 3k health. This is going to shoot you over the 3k. It's going to help you a lot with surviving in open world PvP or in BGs, for example. Druids, again, I wish I was making a druid video again because I miss druids, but this set is like the one of the best sets you can get. Like you get like a huge set bonus, you get huge stuff, you get slightly increases your stealth detection as well in your hands. It's like a very busted tier piece. A tier set, but it has like a bit of everything. Unfortunately, it has crits, crit on spells, and it has crit on melees. It kind of sucks that it's a bit over the place, but it's still something you want to go for. And the rank 13 is as well like very good, like good stamina, good strength, good agility, a bit less of intellect, but enough to actually be shape shifting. It's more a feral set pretty much. If you're playing a feral druid, this is like really something you want to go for. And then you have obviously your rogue set, which is not impressive, but it's okay. You have a lot of stamina. Obviously, you can have probably better pieces with your tier pieces. I don't know how it is, but you have some pieces that are very interesting. For example, you have crit and hit on your legs. You have also crit on your gloves. It's more stamina than the set, like the a Devil Sword set, so it's going to be more interesting in PvP. And you have also hit and crit on your chest. You even have hit and crit on your head. So you have a few pieces that you really want to go for. For example, your shoulders as well also hit. So you could have, and you can play a bit around to get the better pieces out there. And paladins as well. If you're a retribution paladin, this is like really the opening to you. You have damage done increase as well. So 26 here, 20 here, 25 here. So you have a lot of great stuff here. So you can actually be the paladin that you really want to be, which is a retribution paladin with a lot of mana, a lot of strength, a lot of stamina, and being able to do a lot of crit as well. So that's pretty much the overview for PvP for this phase. Obviously, you have rank 13, rank 14 in BWL. You have obviously AB, but AB is going to be in phase 4. Unfortunately, I wish it was phase 3, but it is phase 4. Kind of sucks. It is what it is. But the pieces there is also very interesting. I wish it came a bit sooner. Maybe we can pressure Blizzard to do it a bit sooner, but I wish it was available. Like for example, Sage Claw. It's like great for even like druids. 40 armor, it's impressive. And as well for Ironbark stuff, it gives you armor but also crit on spells by 2% and 40 spell damage as well. So I wish it was available, but it is not. Even for like ranking, it's really great. You have great pieces out there. So I look forward to do a lot of PvP this phase, like not this phase, but this classic iteration. Ranking is going to be a lot easier for a lot of people. You don't need to know life anymore. You can take a break and it will not make you go lower on ranks as well. So just play at heart's content. And thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye.